What's going on, everyone? Thrift Barringer here, live from Glenwood. It's the Glenwood Coaches Show, and we got my man who was my coach, my good friend, Coach Jesse Perdue. Coach, thank you so much for joining us.
Glad to be here.
He's not only the basketball coach, which we are here in the gymnasium, he's also the golf coach. And, Coach, how's golf season going so far, man?
I would have met you at the golf course if you wanted to meet there. We could have met there and had lunch and everything.
Divots with Dusty, man.
There you go. Hey, maybe a great show one day.
Right.
Golf season's going great. We're past spring break. We've played 6 matches in tournaments, matches being 9 holes, tournaments being 18. I'm learning about this as we go because in the past with the AISA, it was all tournaments.
Gotcha.
We'd play tournaments every week or every other week, and it was 18 holes. Now you can play 9-hole matches against other schools like Beauregard, Beulah,
Lee Scott.
Valley, Lee Scott. And we're down to our last 3. We got the Lee Scott tournament next week at Saugahatchee up in Auburn. And then we got the Beulah tournament at Point in Lynette, Alabama. And then we'll end our season around I think the 15th. Yes, against Opelika, Valley, and Beulah will be our last match before we get ready to see if we qualify for sectionals.
Well, some individual people that have had some incredible seasons for you so
Klein
far.
Edwards, our number
nice.
1 golfer right now. He's a football player also.
Yep.
Klein's probably our number 1 right now. Claire Graham being our only girl, so she gets to play girl matches this year. She's never gotten to do that before. She's always been a part of our boys team, so she's done really well. Actually won 2 tournaments and some matches this year against some local schools, but Claire's doing really well, and I think she's going to go a long way in the state. But Klein is our number 1. Colt Russell, an 8th grader, is our number 2. Our number 3 is Davis Litton. You probably have heard that name before. He's a football player too.
Yep.
And then, we got a bunch of guys we're mixed matching here and there, and I'll go down the list. We got Jackson Tidwell. We got Luke Johnson.
Yep.
We got Noah Thompson, Rhett Harris, Leighton Henderson, Easton Smart, who's another 8th grader that's got a chance to be really, really good. Noah Undersek and Nate Smith round out our team. So we are 12 deep. Tyler Clarity would have played with us this year. He got hurt in basketball season, as you know.
Right.
Hurt his elbow, but he was going to try to pull off the double-double, play baseball and golf, but he needed to rest his arm, so he didn't play with us this year. And he got a chance to be a really good golfer, and he loves the game. But I'm really proud of this team. They've done really, really well. Being our first year, if we can get to sectional and maybe qualify for sub-state, I think that would be really, really good for us.
Coach, what's the practice schedule like with your group?
Lakewood has been under work this fall.
Yes, it has.
And, we got very lucky with some parents' help that we practice at Lakewood on Mondays and Wednesdays. And then we get to go to the Triple C on Tuesdays and Thursdays to practice over there.
Awesome.
And we get to use their range and their chipping green, their putting green. But they've been wonderful to us. The Columbus Country Club has been really, really good to us. So,
awesome.
But so has Lakewood. Lakewood being our home course has been really, really good for us. So that we go Monday through Thursday. They practice on their own on Fridays, and we don't do much on if they want to play some individual tournaments on Saturday.
Coach, where did love for golf come in? Why did you want to take on this? For one, I thought you weren't going to coach anything. That's why you gave up softball. What led you to this? Because it divots with Dusty?
Well, I don't know about that. I fell in love with this game. It's very calm. It's another way for me to release after basketball season. Scott Miller, who was the coach here for 15 years, was a volunteer, and he was just ready to ride off into the sunset, and he did that. And they asked me, said, "Hey, we need somebody on staff to be the golf coach. We've seen divots with Dusty, and we've seen you have a love for this. Would you like to do it?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll be glad to do it." I can putt a little bit and I can play a little bit. I'm not changing their swing or anything like that.
You're not critiquing.
No, I'm not. I make the lineup. I get them to where they're supposed to go. I can talk to them a little bit from a coaching standpoint about calming down, taking their time and golf etiquette and learning the game and all that. But as far as me teaching them the swing and all that, I'm not that guy.
You're not Butch Harmon.
Well, no, I'm not. I turn into the bus driver is what I turn into. There's no doubt about that. But I love it. I enjoy it. I got a good group of kids. They work really, really hard. They all have their private coaches, as you know. People give lessons on golf and stuff all the time.
Right.
And I'm not going to try to change anything that those people say to them, for sure.
We hope we make it to the sectionals this year. We'll be cheering on the Gators.
Absolutely.
When's the next match or tournament, Coach?
Play Tuesday at Saugahatchee, which is a great golf course.
Yep.
I'm excited about being there. We play the Lee Scott tournament on Tuesday. We'll take our 5-man team, and Claire will go play in that. And I hope to do really, really well.
Yeah. We love dominating Lee Scott anytime we can. Final question, Coach, is
they got a good golf program.
They do.
They really
and they
do.
always do. They're usually pretty good at all their sports, Coach. But final question, basketball-wise, what's the timetable for when you're going to get that back going with workouts and turns into summer?
Well, let's just promote that now for anybody that's interested in Glenwood or might want to come. May 13th and 14th are tryouts this year.
Nice.
We're trying out before the summer. May 13th and 14th, girls and boys. I do the girls team and the boys team tryouts at Glenwood. And then we start working out at the end of May. And then our June is full. We are playing right now. I know we're playing 6 play dates. That's camps and play dates for the boys. And I know we have 5 for the girls right now. And we actually have 1 or 2 here. So I'm really excited about it.
Well, and we're probably going to be streaming it.
Absolutely.
We'll be streaming some of those games.
I love that. That's great.
Coach, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, I got more with Coach Fanning here on the Glenwood Coach Show on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Football is back, and the only thing that makes it better is some delicious food from Zaxby's. They're a proud sponsor of Georgia Alabama Sports. Football is back, and the only thing that makes it better is some delicious food from Zaxby's. They're a proud sponsor of Georgia Alabama Sports Live. And I can tell you that everyone on this team loves their chicken. Get all the favorites, such as their signature chicken sandwich, or try the new chicken finger tacos with your favorite drink. From amazing salads, wings, chicken fingers, and some of the best drinks around, there isn't a better way to enjoy our broadcast without getting some fantastic meals from Zaxby's. Check out the 2 here in Phoenix City, one off Crawford Road and the other on US 80. Thank you again to Zaxby's for sponsoring Georgia Alabama Sports Live, and make sure you call them for all your catering and tailgating needs this football season. Welcome back, everyone, to the Glenwood Coaches Show live on Glenwood campus, and I'm with the AD and head baseball coach, Coach Fanning. Coach, thank you so much for joining us as always.
Oh, yes, sir.
Just got done talking with Coach Perdue and the golf team. That's getting off to a pretty decent start. He's excited about the season. Got some great golfers, but let's talk baseball, man. Specifically, as I taught you last night, but I want to go a little bit more detail tonight with that Columbus game. Having to play Lee Scott this week, do you think that kind of changed your mindset on who you were going to pitch? Was it ideal to have Columbus and Lee Scott in the same week, knowing you had to play them 3 times? And what's the mindset to be able to attack this?
To be honest, challenging your kids is always good, and the thing with coming from the AISA to the AHSA, we played a lot more games. Yeah. So we're accustomed actually to playing about 6 games a week. Therefore, you may be seeing their 1 or 2 and you have to throw your 6 or 7.
Right.
And then with no excuses. You know what I mean? So I kind of felt like it was kind of part of the old days, where we're throwing young guys and they just got to figure it out. It gives them great experience.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And because those are guys that are going to be a big part of our program moving forward in years to come. So I thought it was good, especially Reese Davis. Reese Adams. Sorry, Reese, but shout out to you.
Yeah.
Reese Adams, he came in. He's a senior. He hasn't got to pitch that much. When he's pitched, he's been good.
Right.
And he gave us 3 goose eggs, and that really helped us kind of, stem the tide a little bit until we started getting our bats going.
Which it was 6-0. I want to first say credit to Michael Nodelman. He's a great player, Coach.
Right.
He's a junior here. He's also their number 1 pitcher.
Right.
He'll be playing at the next level. And obviously, you make a few mistakes with him.
Right.
You send it over the fence. But from what I saw, for one, the guys seemed like the energy was down a little bit in the first couple of innings. And then all of a sudden, hey, we're getting smacked right now. Columbus is good enough. If we don't play our game, we could get beat. What was the message to the team to kind of wake up
And then once after it was 6-0, the pitching was great. And of course, the hitting came along later on.
Well, I mean, it was just, hey man, are we going to play today, or are we just going to go through the motions? And I mean, we can't get 6 runs back like we talked about last night, man. We just got to have competitive at bats. And through the first 2 innings, first time through the lineup, we were not doing that. No. And so I guess that kind of, got sleepy out of the eyes, whatever you want to call it. Kid was doing a good job, but we just weren't competitive in those first couple innings.
Right.
And they were, and they took advantage of it and took it to us first part of that game. So that was the message. We can't get it all back. Competitive at bats, pass the bat to the next guy.
Right.
And we'll creep back into the game.
Now here's the issue. Obviously you playing Lee Scott here here today, and then you got a doubleheader tomorrow. So now you got to get your guys focused. And I know we were talking, Coach, like, yeah, it was a great job to come back. But we can't play like this against probably the most important series of the regular season. For an area championship in Lee Scott in the next 2 days.
And that was the message last night to him, and everything's not always great when you win. And same is true when you lose. I mean, you may lose a game, but have played well, but you can also win and not play well. So the message, last night is, this is the most important series of the year. It always is. The number one goal for our team every year is to win the area. That is the very first goal that you put on the board. So we can't do that without playing well against Lee Scott.
By the way, Lee Scott, you played him in the state championship last year. Most Glenwood fans, but for the rest of the community, it's a 3-game series, went down to the wire. And
sure did.
It was a fantastic one. That's motivation for Lee Scott for what happened last year. And they just want to, they know Glenwood's at the mountaintop and been the mountaintop for many years, and they want to try to overcome that. What do you know about this program and their coach?
Well, Coach Cook has done a great job. He came in last year. He's a really good coach. He's instilled a lot of discipline in their players, and to play the game the right way. He's a good pitching guy. I think they're going to have guys that throw strikes, and we're going to have to battle. You know what I mean? And I don't think we're going to go in there and get a bunch of walks and a bunch of free stuff. You know what I mean? We're going to have to earn everything that we get. So I know they started off a little bit slow, but they were missing a bunch of basketball players. Guys were hurt, all these sorts of things. And that's why I don't really pay attention to that. You need to focus on your team and what you're trying to do, not what someone else is doing. So I know I've seen, several scores of them beating a lot of different teams too, a lot of big schools too. So it's like I tell our guys every day when they're asked, well, what about this team? Well, it's the best team we play today.
Yeah.
So that's how you got to enter into the game. You got to play against the game, not against the opponent. It's just the heightened awareness of the fact that this could help determine an area championship.
Yeah.
And not to mention it's our biggest rival. Yeah. So there should be some intensity and some focus. Not that should change how you act. It just should change the level of your focus.
No doubt about it, Coach. But I want you to kind of talk about last week just a little bit, just kind of give a brief overview.
Right.
Is it something you would want to go back to going to this tournament? Did you learn anything from it? What was the experience in that spring break tournament last week? It didn't turn out the way we, had hoped. I mean, we got rain the first day, and we were really looking forward to playing Gardendale, which is a really good program in North Alabama. And so it just kind of started it off that way, and then that kind of put the tournament behind, and then we weren't able to get all the games we were supposed to. So, I mean, we had 3 games. I mean, we scored a lot of runs. We were better than the teams that we played. It was, we played a big school from Arkansas, 7A school from Arkansas, and a 6A school from Illinois. And, so it was kind of cool to play some teams from different states. I mean, it really went our way and very quickly in all 3 of the games. You know what I mean? So, I think it's too early to say whether I go back or not, but, glad you got the win, right?
I mean, 3 wins are 3 wins. We were hoping to play 6 games and not 3.
Right.
So, I mean, like I said, it was a good time. We got to go out to eat together at Lambert's where they throw the rolls at you.
I love that.
And Foley, and which is really cool. And got to go to the outlets and go shopping and, a few things like that. Yeah. But, so as far as that's concerned,
it was fine.
Yeah, and a good team bonding moment, Coach.
Right, it was. And then, but every year you're going to evaluate, your schedule and see if something you feel is better for your team, and that may be the case. I don't know.
Right. Coach, I do want you to talk about your assistant coaches, because I'll tell you one thing. Coach Carbone, for one, I think he's a really good motivational guy. He understands the game. I like him a lot, and I think he does it for the right reason. Obviously, everyone knows the legendary Phil Stillwell, but there's some other guys too. Can you talk about your staff? Because it seems like y'all got such a great relationship with each other, Coach, that in turn allows y'all to be great coaches to the players.
Right. Well, Coach Boyd, he's an assistant in football as well, and he's been with me for several years now. He was head coach at Bessemer, and he's a right-hand man when it comes to that. He handles all our hitters and does outfield for me, and he called pitches during the games and things like that. So really rely on him. He helps a lot with the field. I mean, works his butt off out here, and helps me tremendously. Coach Stillwell's been with me like 13 years now. I think his son played for me, and he graduated from here. Coach Carbone's son played for me as well. And he really is. He's so invested in these young men and just wants to be a part of something great, and willing to do anything he can to help that. So, and then Coach Willis, he's working a lot. He's got to travel a lot, but when he's available, he's here. He's another graduate of Glenwood, several-time state champion as well. They love this school, and they love the community, and it shows by the investment that they put in. Half of those guys, I mean, 3 of those guys are all community guys and don't get paid a dime. So not that they need it, but it's just it just goes to their heart, and they just want to do whatever they can to help Glenwood be successful. And then Coach Nelson is over our JV program, and he's right there with me. This year was something we kind of changed a little bit, moving to the HSA. Kind of 9th through 12th was a lot more cohesive unit than it used to be, like 7th through 9th. So middle school was separate, and then 9th through 12th. So we got to spend a lot more time around the younger kids than I have in years past.
Awesome.
And which comes with Coach Nelson and Coach Garner as well. So it's really good to have Coach Nelson around all the time. You can lean on him and talk to him about certain things. And, he's coached for, 45 years. There's nothing you don't feel comfortable talking to him about, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so I don't have that person sometimes, you know what I mean, in my position. So it's just good. I'm very, very thankful and blessed that he's around our program.
And I'm glad you got a great staff that all enjoy and about the kids, about developing the kids.
And it is fun. They have a great time.
And, I look like y'all always having fun, joking them with each other. And everything.
It is. And that's part of it, man. When you spend that much time here, if it's not enjoyable, then you don't need to do it.
No.
And that also rubs off on your players. They see that interaction and they understand that too. So if it means a lot to you, it's going to mean a lot to them.
Coach, everyone talks about how great this team is. Obviously, I talk about it till I'm blue in the face. I got you ranked #1. Obviously, the incredible start this year. But you don't want that to get in your guys' head, because you start getting complacent, and that's the last thing you want on how you run your program with all the state championships. So how do you balance that with your guys where, yes, we're good, but we can be better? And what are some things that you want to try to work on for the end of the year?
Well, we got this segment we do and start at the beginning of the year, and it starts off the whole season, and it's called Keeping It Real. And that's the only way I know to describe it.
Straight no chaser, man.
And so we do that periodically when we need to do that. We need to stay on our mental training part. Like we need to make sure that we are actually, scheduled out and focused on what we're doing, not trying to get too high or too low. That's the thing about baseball. It's why it's such a great teacher of life. It's because you're going to have so many ups and downs. You have to be able to handle that. And we feel that the biggest part of that is the mental side of things. And we have to be on the same page. they have to be on the same page with each other.
Yep.
And they have to be committed and intensely focused when it matters. And that's the bottom line. If someone outplays you, they're better than you, then you tip your cap and you go on. If they're not, then you have to look yourself in the mirror, address those things.
Yep.
All right. Seriously and truthfully with yourself. And that's, you know, kind of the thing we've been preaching to them is, you know, you're a wrestling guy.
Yeah.
Triple H.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's what we've been talking about. Being hungry, being humble. All right. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, but they have to see those things.
Yeah.
And they have to commit to those things. You can have all these sayings and you can do all this stuff as a coach.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, but if they don't buy into it and it mean enough to them to do it,
right, then,
you know, I mean, you're just kind of, you know, going through the motions, as an old coach would say, and we don't want to do that, you know. So that's really what we're doing. We're trying to, because the games are going to space out more and you're going to have an entire week, hopefully, you know, we can make it in the playoffs and you're going to have weeks in between, you know, a week in between each series.
Yep.
And I mean, you just got to stay the grind. We got to stay in the weight room as much as you don't want to. We got to do it. You know what I mean? It's the one thing that I think helps separate us from other teams.
Right.
And, you know, so we just got to keep that grind going and just be truthful with each other. And that's where it starts.
Coach, it's been busy on the campus. Yesterday we had soccer.
Right.
Going against Prattville.
Yeah.
Shout out to Coach Eddie. They've had a pretty good year this year. Tennis is doing great. Obviously, golf with Coach Perdue. We talked to, it's Lauren Davis, correct?
Yes.
That is a tennis coach, and we're proud of her. But I want to talk about tomorrow, Coach, before we wrap up, because this is for everyone in the community, that if you want to watch some high-level softball and baseball, and you want to see two schools that really don't like each other, we got Glenwood's Ely Scott softball, and then you got a doubleheader. So this is the cry out to the community why they need to come out and support, and you can literally walk between both of them if you want to see both games.
Right. No, it's we've always loved it here, and I've tried to do that as an athletic director over the years too, is we want as many things going on as we possibly can so that we can showcase what we have in our kids with the community. So, tomorrow be a great day. You know, bring your tank tops. It's going to be about 90 degrees. And
it was just perfect yesterday, and then now it's going to be 100 degrees.
That's right. And you can get your sunscreen out and enjoy whichever one you want or both. Go back and forth, like you said. And it should be a great day on our campus. And
how much did it cost to get in, Coach?
$8. $8 to get in. Take cash or credit card. No GoFan here. So, man, just come on out and check us out and just support these boys and girls, man, because they deserve it.
Yes, they do.
They've worked hard for it, and just come out and have a good time. We got the best concession stand in 3 states. You know, probably more states than that, but I know around here, man, they crank it out and they get it. They get it, and people comment on our concession stand every single time they come here. So, go enjoy some hot dogs and hamburgers. It's good.
Coach, you know, I've been a lot of places now, and I'm not trying to be biased, but this cheeseburger here at Glenwood, I got to get it almost every time I come. And you also, by the way, for those who can't make it, if you can't, we're going to be broadcasting both softball and baseball at the same time on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. That is the beauty of having a platform like we do, Coach. We'll have softball going on and baseball. Well, Coach Fanning, thank you so much. Good luck later on today. Take down the Warriors, and we'll see you next time on the Glenwood Coach Show here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Go Gators. Right.
Georgia, Alabama. Sports Live will be your go-to for all your favorite high school and collegiate games this fall. From the Carver Tigers to the Columbus Blue Devils, the Harris County Tigers and Northside Patriots, the Glenwood Gators and Calvary Christian Knights, the Pacelli Vikings and Brookstone Cougars to the Smith Station Panthers and Russell County Warriors, from CVCC, Pirates basketball and baseball, and every tournament from here to Macon. We are the #1 destination for anything happening in East Alabama and West Central Georgia. Be sure to like and follow us on YouTube and Facebook, and stay tuned for even more amazing ways we will be bringing Georgia Alabama Sports Live to you this upcoming season. We can't wait to come see you next.